Maranatha, my PBC family and friends. Pastor Brian here with another quick bite, living the word. Today, words are going to come from the book of Genesis, and what's happening here, where we're at. We're going to pick it up in Genesis chapter 8. I want to look at the end of that chapter here. This is after the flood. Noah has been released from the ark, and then Noah builds an altar to the Lord, and that's where I want to pick it up at. And then I want to read, in particular, the last verse of chapter 8, and I want to focus on that this morning, both in a physical but also in a spiritual sense. It says, And Noah builded an altar unto the Lord, and took every clean beast and every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And the Lord smelled a sweet savor, and the Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake. For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth, neither will I again smite any more everything as I have done. Okay, so here's the promise of the Lord. I am not going to destroy the earth. I'm not going to smite everything ever again. Now, it doesn't mean that he's not going to destroy the earth eventually, all right? But what he's saying here is I'm not going to kill everything all at once like I did this time, Noah, save for you and your family. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to kill all living creatures. I'm not going to kill everything all at once now. So, hold on a second, sorry. I apologize, guys. Anyway, and so this is the promise of the Lord. It's not going to happen. Of course, we know the symbol of the rainbow being a part of that as well, right? The promise of the Lord is that rainbow, that I'm not going to destroy everything. But listen what he says after that. While the earth remaineth, this is the Lord still, while the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. While the earth remains, we're going to have seasons. And now what's interesting about this is we can look at this obviously in a physical sense. We've had seed time and harvest, cold and heat. We've had summer and winter, day and night, right? We've had that since the flood. That's not a problem. We've never had an issue with that, okay? But what is interesting to me is I think there's a spiritual application for us here too. Why? Why would he tell Noah this in regards to not destroying the earth again? Because he's telling him, listen, the seasons will change. Things are going to continue on. Don't lose hope when you feel like the harvest isn't ever going to be here, or that summer's never going to end, or that winter's never going to end. Don't get frustrated, Noah. Don't get upset. The seasons will continue. Day and night will continue. I'm still in control. It's still going to happen. And I think a spiritual application for us in this regard, guys, is this. Seasons come and seasons go. Even in the not necessarily just talking about the physical seasons of spring, summer, fall, winter. I'm talking about also even in our lives. We have hard seasons, they'll go. We'll have easier seasons, they'll come again. Things like this, guys, it's going to change. Seasons will change. What our job is to endure. Why? Because God has promised that it's never going to cease, that we can get through this. All right, and we can look at many other promises where God says that he'll never leave us nor forsake us, all these things like this. But we need to just endure. Why? Because the seasons will change. And so we should be excited when we see the changing seasons, not only in our spiritual life, but also in the physical life, because this is a part of the promise of God, a reminder. I mean, how absolutely boring, for lack of better terms, and how much will we never learn or grow if the spiritual seasons of our life remain the same always? Never had struggles, never had difficulties, never had trials, we would never grow. The same way that if the seasons never changed, if we never had the springtime and the harvest and things like that, these seasons have changed, we'd never have the full fruit of what we could get. We'd never have the full understanding and appreciation of the other seasons. So I hope this encourages us today, as always, to remember that our God is in control. So remember, I love you, we love you. God loves you, and God's got this.